Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Book HQ. So today I'm going to be talking about The New Guy and Other Senior Year Distractions by Amy Spalding. So this one I got from a podcast, and the podcasters were like, oh, it's a really funny book. And so I was like, okay, cool. It's like young romance, funny, like why not? And I read it, and to be honest, I didn't think it was that funny. It was a really good book. It follows the life of Jules McAllister Morgan, and I can honestly tell you that I remember her name because it's a three-name, and it's one of those like memorable names. I can't remember the name of her best friend or of even like her school rival, but I remember her name, and of course the name of her love interest, who is Alex Powell. And it's basically like she goes to this preppy high school, which is in LA, so it's like a lot of celebrity kids go to that high school, like kids whose parents are celebrities. And this guy, who's the new guy, comes to her school, and he was a celebrity. He belonged to a boy band that had a couple of hits, but then when you're one hit wonder type thing, afterwards life goes back to normal. So he comes to the school, and they have their first encounter because she's the person who's supposed to be showing him around the school. And then they start hanging out, like he starts hanging out with her and her friends, and it's quite obvious that he likes her. And she's really like over ambitious, like super high achiever. What I really found interesting about the story was the fact that she comes from a home where both her parents are women. I've never read about that before. It was really interesting to see from that perspective. And she talks a lot about her inception, how it was like one of her parents' eggs was used, and then the other parent's body was used to incubate her. And that was really interesting. So her parents joke a lot about how expensive the process of having her was. And so because of that, she's super driven, and because she feels like she wants to be worth the money that they spent on her, or worth it, which I thought was really interesting. How as parents, you know, you just say something like as a joke, haha, and kids take that and internalize that, and it can actually shape their whole personality because she's super like driven, super overachiever. That was the one thing I thought was really interesting. The other thing that I thought was also really interesting is that, so she works for the school paper. It's called the Talon. Is it the Talon? I can't remember if the Talon is the rival. Okay, so she works for the school paper, but she has this rival at the school who starts her own sort of news outlet, but it's like digital and online. And so the guy that she's dating, this new guy, Alex, also works for that new digital online thing. So because of that, she says, you and I are rivals, so we have to keep our romance secret because no one can know. And it's, for me, that was a bit ridiculous. But you sort of get to find out at the end of the book that all these things that she took as signs of aggression or microaggression from this rival of hers weren't really that. The rival and her both used to work for the paper, and the rival says to her at the end that I started my own thing because I knew that you would get the position of editor, which I also wanted. And so, yeah, that's why I went and started my own thing. And then the other thing that she tells her is that she calls her Julia out of respect because she thought Jules is a name that's like reserved for only her friends to use. And I was like, that's really very interesting how like you can just see things like one way and think about like, oh, this person is this way because they don't like me and blah blah blah, and meanwhile they're like not even thinking that at all. So I thought that was really, it was very good to see that perspective in sort of an antagonist. And in the end, they end up not being antagonists at all. They end up working together. She does something prolifically stupid that ends up pushing the guy away. But in the end, she finds a way to get him back, and everybody finishes, you know, senior year off rather happily. So it was a good book. It was a nice in-betweener book because I was in between books at the time when I read it. So that's what I think about that book. Let me know if you've read it or if you've read any other Amy Spalding books in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so, and click on the bell so that you can be notified whenever I post a new video. Also, as a point of information, my videos are taking place upstairs now because my office space is being used as storage space temporarily. It's just too much hassle to go and like move things around and set up so that I can do the videos. So until the stuff that's in storage in my office is moved, videos will be with this background. So yeah, all right, until next time, keep reading and keep watching. Bye-bye.